So one of the big things we see in our culture is a standard for men, a standard of excellence, or even just you to be considered. You have to be able to pay for the gas, pay for the groceries. You have to be able to pay the rent. You have to be able to pay the babysitter. It's always an economic sieve just filling out. You have to be exceptional to be standard. What we don't see whenever we talk about the swirler movement, when women talk about divesting and leaving and open up their options, that type of set of the standards isn't put on white men. It's just assumed, oh, he's better off rip. You never look and say that he has any type of issues on his own. But let's take a look.
Women don't have standards for zaddy. They got standards for black men, but they don't have none. None of that astronomical, super duper expectations, crazy stuff. They don't have that for zaddy. They have it for you, black men. You got to jump through hoops. See, black women will tell black men that I'm not going to settle. So her standards are non-negotiable.
So we see this all the time. We make this assumption that white men aren't men. The same dangerous men, the same men that are part of when you look at us and you call us misogynists, you say we're part of the patriarchy, you don't put that label on them. I said in a previous video, we're the worst of the worst of us. The ones that you see out there attacking women because they didn't get the phone number, you associate all black men. They all have to overcome that, the worst of us. But you don't save that for white people. You don't save that for the white man. Those are, for lack of a better term, and I don't mean to get political or religious, but those are your saviors. And truthfully, they're just men. They're just men. The same men that you said you would choose a bear over, right? You would choose a bear over the man. Why is it always in your head a black man? Why do we constantly have to be the best of the best? And even then, you don't really seem to want to fight for us to compete. You can't really say that word. Oh, you're going to have to compete for a good man. There is this idea that we already belong to you. Therefore, why would you have to fight or do the work to be better, to be worthy of us? We understand intrinsically, if I want a good woman, I have to be a good man. I have to be amongst the best of them because that already indicates that your worthiness there. It's almost if you don't see us as worthy, as we'll never be worthy of lifting Mjolnir. We'll never be worth the attempt, the effort. But when you go over to the other side, you sometimes forget they're just men. They're just like us.
Go completely out the window when a white man come along. What standards? He could be anybody. He could be a bum. He can do anything. He can be anything. He can be nothing. And she'll go for it. She'll go for it. She'll pick me for him. That's why she got all them standards for you. You're not a man to begin with to the modern hyena. You are a slave to them. Remember, they overseers that identify with zaddy. So you're a slave. So you as black men got to prove that you can come out of slave status to get to her level or above. Ain't that right, hyenas? Black men.
Is that we completely forget the historical context of how we all arrived here. We completely forget that they have their own bag of their own skeleton, their own set of demons. They aren't this savior. They aren't waiting in the wings, ready to swoop in and say, we're just more than happy to take whatever type of black woman that is available. If you're going to do the work, if you want a better outcome with a man and you're willing to do the work, then we're not here to ever shame you, say you shouldn't go outside your race and do what you want. We're just here to say, on your way out, leave quietly, leave calmly. You don't have to elevate or pedestalize one race over your own. And this naturally goes for both genders because men do it as well as women do it. I don't want to have someone in the comments saying, yo, but they do it too. They do it. Yeah, we know. This stands for both. And again, in this series, everyone's going to get a turn. Everyone's going to get a turn up a bat. So don't feel like I'm just hammering one side or another. We're getting there. We just have to, there's a sequence, there's an order, right? One of the things I always like to tell myself that I picked up from a book, timing and patience, sequence and order. All things in their time. Let's finish this one up.
He got to prove that he can get out of slave status to be on your level or above. But the reality is, in your mind, the only one above you is master. And black men will never be William Cartwright. Black men got to spend a ton of money. They got to be fine. He got to be fine. Okay? Not a little cute. He got to be so fine that you somewhere about to jump out your drawers.
Yeah, we got to be Idris Elba. We got to be, the best of the best. It's not. I always like to say, women are the pretty ones, the attractive ones of our species. But with men, with how it is today, you also have to have all these things. You got to be genetically gifted, the 6 feet. You got to have the jawline, the structure. Your beard's got to connect. You've got to just win the genetic lottery and then press your advantage. You just have to be. We took that idea that you have to work twice as hard to get half as much, and then we said this is how the culture or this is how society treats us as black people, and then you took it and you flipped it on men too, on your black men. You still have to do that level. You have to excel to that level. There's the little thing going around where this is a younger generation out saying, and maybe it's like it's in joking terms, but they're like, wait, I've got to make something of myself in order to afford you, and you're broke, and you already come. You don't come as a virgin. It's they're looking at saying it's not a good deal. It's not a good deal. But we don't hear. And if there is that type of conversation, someone please come to the congregation, come to the front of the congregation, let us know. What are your standards when you swirl, when you decide I'm going to date outside my race? What are the standards for that person?
He gotta be entertaining. He gotta be funny. He gotta be charming. He gotta be this. He gotta be that. He gotta take care of your kids or at least feed them on the first date. If you got, 2, 3 kids, you expect him to take you on an expensive date and you expect him to pay for food to go so you can feed your kids and your mama that's at the house.
And the babysitter. We got to pay for the babysitter too. Right? There's a whole host of things that we're supposed to be required to do in order just to get your attention. The gas station. I got to pump your gas. I got to pay for your gas. I got to pay for your groceries. I I got to help you bring the groceries to the car just so I can get a bit of your attention so I can get rejected and put on TikTok. It, but we never ever hear. It's always the fantasy, and I think that's an interesting thing to end on. It's the Disney fantasy. It's the knight in shining armor. It's the prince. He's rarely black in the stories that you were fed. You were told we have to do the work, and that's fine. I'm not saying that men shouldn't step up and men shouldn't be the best. I'm always going to advocate for that, but it's not in to serve another woman. It's not to get a woman. You do better for your own self because this is your purpose. You find your purpose, you nail that, you drill that down. Life gets worth living once you're on that path. You will be surprised how things start lining up. So that's always going to be the case for men. I'm always going to be an advocate for hard work, and I think this page sort of dedicates and shows that. But why not the same for the white savior? Why are white women easier? Why are white men easier? Why are they? Why don't you look at them like humans, like men, like women? Why are they inherently just better? I think that's a good question to leave this off on. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let's keep this going.